From the bout between the unbeatable Young Eagle and the former WKA world champion to Ciryl Gane's redemption fight to get back in the title race, here's Dana White announcing 3 major upcoming fights. And we are starting with Cory Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov, which is set to happen on August 5th, 2023, at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. Now here's why this is a bigger fight than you'd think. You see, Cory's a bantamweight technician who's bagged the WKA world title, and as of the making of this video, is ranked number 4 in the division's rankings. Not only that, his UFC record is made up of 16 wins and 4 losses, thanks to his killer striking skills that got him 7 fights over knockout wins, which should come in handy when he's going up against the Russian menace. Meet Umar Nurmagomedov. Yep, that surname will ring some bells. That's right, folks. He is Khabib's cousin. After his professional MMA debut, he's fought for a bunch of organizations and signed with the UFC in 2020, only to win his debut fight against Sergey Morozov via rear naked choke. Ever since then, he's racked up 3 Ws, including a knockout win in January 2023. Although he's ranked at number 15 in the UFC bantamweight rankings, his grappling is world class. Umar has won 7 fights by submission, which will pose a major threat to Cory, who is a pure striker. Umar also brings a bunch of different styles to the table, which makes him more dangerous to deal with. In every single one of his fights, he shows footwork, range control, and fluid movement, topped with his defensive wrestling game. Even though he's a fairly fresh fighter, I wouldn't underestimate him. Not just because of his unbeatable record, but also because he will be walking in Khabib's footsteps. And if he's anything as gifted as Khabib, Sandhagen should really be worried. Now, for the predictions, I can't say for sure, because Cory's the one with more experience and tougher opponents, while Umar's has more potential. Sure, Cory's striking skills could give him an edge on the feet, but Umar can easily come back for a submission win if the fight goes to the ground. It all comes down to who's going to come up with the best strategy in the ring. But wait till you hear about the next fight White's scheduled for 2023, Max Holloway versus Chan Sung Jung, that's set to happen at the Singapore Indoor Stadium. This fight is going to be the main event of the UFC Fight Night in Singapore. Talking about Max, right after his UFC debut in 2012 and bagged UFC Featherweight Championship title in 2016, with an incredible victory over Anthony Pettis, only to defend the title another 3 times. Ranked at number 2 in the UFC featherweight rankings, he's got a professional MMA record of 24 wins and 7 losses. He is known for his striking, something that earned him 9 knockout wins. It's no wonder he's a fan favorite. The showboating kickboxer surprises his opponents with his flawless footwork and snappy punches while building off the jab almost perfectly, only to go into the lead hook. And on the opposite corner, there's Chan, who you might know as the Korean Zombie. That's right. Chan made his UFC debut in 2011, and ever since then, he's got 6 knockout wins to his name. And it's not just that, he's a fan favorite thanks to his exciting fighting style and the ability to absorb deadly punches and still go on, which landed him a professional MMA record of 17 wins and 7 losses. Although he's fought for the UFC Featherweight Championship title twice, he's lost every single time. Once to Jose Aldo in 2013, and another to Alexander Volkanovski in 2022. With that being said, he's got a boxing-heavy attack, coming in from different angles, topped with his elite striking skills, all of which makes fans think he won't be an easy opponent for Holloway. Not to mention, he's also got incredible grappling, which has landed him 8 submission wins. But when it comes to the fight with Holloway, let's not forget that with the betting odds, Max is definitely a huge favorite to win the fight. Meanwhile, Jung's a heavy underdog in the fight. Based on that alone, it's easy to say that Max is going to take the win on this one. Think about it. He's a former champion who's got the better track record of success in the UFC. Plus, he's coming off a win in his most recent fight. Sure, I'm not going to underestimate Jung either, as long as he can land his strikes and avoid Holloway's high-volume attack. Having said that, I've saved the best for last, because the third fight White's announced for 2023 is Ciryl Gane versus Sergey Spivak. The bout is set to happen on September 2nd at the Accor Arena in Gane's home country. That's right, this fight's a part of the UFC Fight Night event in Paris, which marks UFC's comeback to the city. And trust me when I say this, the fight's gonna keep you on the edge of your seat because on one hand, you've got Gane, a powerful puncher, competing in the heavyweight division of the UFC. Starting off as a professional Muay Thai fighter, he made his professional MMA debut in 2018, And ever since then, he's got a record of 11 wins with 2 losses. On top of that, he's also a former interim UFC heavyweight champion who's got 5 knockout wins and 3 submission wins thanks to his incredible versatility in the octagon. In fact, he's trained with the former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, which makes him quite the menace. But now, he's coming off a loss against Jon Jones, so he's hungry for a victory right now. With his technical striking and Muay Thai training, he's a very tough opponent. I mean, the guy literally switches stances while throwing in a bunch of different kicks topped with powerful punches and combinations. Plus, with his flawless footwork, he's able to stay out of range of his opponent's strikes, only to move back in range to land his own thunderbolts. Overall, he's a well-rounded fighter, making him a dangerous opponent for anyone in the UFC heavyweight division. On the other hand, we have the Polar Bear, who made his debut in 2014 with a professional MMA record of 16 wins and 3 losses. With 7 knockout wins and 7 submission wins, he's the kind of heavyweight fighter with a strong grappling game, who's also comfortable fighting both on the feet and on the ground. But that's not even the end of it. While Gane lost to Jones on March 2023 by submission, Spivak won by unanimous decision in a fight against Derek Lewis in February, so clearly he's buzzing with confidence.
I train again, every day, and now I'm here. I win, my hand is up. Yep. I'm very, very happy.
But don't count out Gane just yet, because he's licking his lips to get back in the title race. If anything, that's going to make Ciryl even more competitive, even after the fact that he's going into the fight as a favorite. Sure, Sergey's had some incredible wins, but he's still got a lot to prove in the UFC, because right now, he's the underdog in the fight. Although just like any other fight in the UFC, things can get unpredictable very fast, so I wouldn't be too quick to judge or even underestimate the fighter. I mean, with his well-rounded skill set and grappling skills that overpower his opponents, there's a possibility that with the right strategy and timing, he might end up winning against Gane. Meanwhile, with Gane coming off a loss, he's going to prove to be a very tough opponent for Sergey. The only question, though, is Sergey up for the challenge? Because a win like this can easily take his career to newer heights. Expect Ciryl to stick with his technical striking skills to stay out of Sergey's range and land powerful kicks and punches at the right time. While the Polar Bear is going to try and take his opponent down to control him on the ground, looking for a submission win, if Gane is smart, he's going to avoid getting dragged into a grappling battle. So he's going to want to wrap the fight up early, but I doubt Sergey's going to let him do that. Instead, he's going to test Gane's cardio and wear him down. That said, only time will tell which one of the two comes out with a win. So there you have it, from Ciryl Gane's redemption fight to get back in the title race, to the bout between the Young Eagle and the former WKA world champion. Those were the 3 major upcoming fights Dana White announced.